my name is Oliver. Today I'm going to tell you a story about the Israelites in Egypt. Do you remember reading about Abraham? When Abraham lived in Ur, he was a polytheist. He believed in the moon god and many other gods. But after Abraham heard a voice telling him to go to Canaan, he became a monotheist. He believed there was only one God, and that voice that spoke to him was the voice of one God. Abraham had a son named Isaac, and Isaac had a son named Jacob. Jacob doesn't have one son. He had 12. Each one of those sons had a big family too. Altogether, Jacob's sons and their families made up a whole new nation. This nation is called Israel. The Israelites, the people of Israel, were unusual to the ancient world because they were monotheists. They not even worshiped one God, then they tried to obey His commands. Because God had told them to live in Canaan, the Israelites tried to stay here, even though it was a dry and rocky place. Then famine came. Stopped raining. Plants wouldn't grow. Almost died. The Israelites had no food for flocks or for themselves. They were afraid they would die too. Do you remember the story of Joseph? Joseph's brothers sold him to be a slave in Egypt. But Joseph became a very important man in Egypt. And he had plenty of rain and water. So he invited Israelites down to Egypt. They packed up their tents, their animals, their families, and all their belongings and traveled down to Egypt. They started to keep their flocks and grow their crops on the banks of Nile. At first, the Egyptians didn't mind having the Israelites in their country. But then they saw the Israelite nation growing larger and larger. Soon, Egyptians started to say to each other, "What if these people decide to attack us? They might even take our kingdom away." After all, that was exactly what the Hyksos had done years before. So the Egyptians made the Israelites into slaves. They forced the Israelites to make mud bricks that they used to build their houses and temples. The Israelites were not allowed to carry any kind of weapons. They had to work hard for no pay. But then the Israelites keep growing bigger and bigger, and the Egyptian was still afraid. The books of Exodus and the Bible tells us the story of what happened next. The pharaoh of Egypt sat on his throne, a throne on his face. How will I do with all those Israelites in the country? He thought to himself. There are more and more of them all the time. Soon they'll take over Egypt. If only they didn't have so many children. Then he had an idea, a terrible, cruel idea. He called his soldiers to him. "Men," he said, "go out into the land of Egypt to every Israelite home. Find out when the Israelite mother is about to have their babies. Kill every baby as soon as it's born." When the Israelites heard about this dreadful command, they wept and mourned. "God, save us," they cried out. "Send us someone to deliver us out from this wicked parents of Egypt." An Israelite woman who lived near the banks of the Nile was just getting ready to have her baby when she heard the order. "Quickly," she said to her daughter Miriam, "help me hide. I don't want the soldiers to see me." So Miriam held her mother hide in the back room of their house. When the baby was born, it was a boy. A fine strong boy with a very loud cry. "Quiet!" said mother, whispered to her baby. "Don't cry so loud, or the soldier will hear." For 3 months, the mother and baby hid from the soldiers from private. The baby got older and older. He started to giggle and coo. The mother knew that he could not hide him forever. So she wove a basket of reeds and coiled outside with tar so that it could float. She wrapped the baby in a warm silk blanket, put put him into a basket, and pushed it out onto the Nile River. And she sent her daughter Miriam to stand by a riverbank and watch to see what happened next. The baby floated down the river, smiled in the sunshine at a bird that landed on an angel basket to see what's inside. Finally, the gentle rocking basket lulled him to sleep. The basket drifted closer to the tide of the Nile until it caught the reeds at the water edge. Now the daughter of Pharaoh liked to walk down the Nile at the hottest part of the day so that she could swim. She came to the edge of the water and saw the basket. "What's in that basket?" she demanded. "Get it for me." One of her maids turned to fetch the basket. When the daughter of Pharaoh looked inside, she saw a baby boy. He opened his eyes and smiled at her. "Oh," she cried out, "such a beautiful baby. I'll keep him and raise him as my own." When Miriam heard this, she ran forward. "Lady," she said, "would you like me to find a nurse to take care of the baby?" "Yes," the daughter of Pharaoh said. "Bring me this woman, and she can take care of my baby for me." So Miriam hurried home and got her mother. And so the baby and his mother were together again. She took care of him until he was old enough to live in Pharaoh's palace alone. The daughter of Pharaoh named him Moses. Thank you for your attention.